What is up, everybody? Welcome to Heads Up Play SEC preview of the 2024 Tennessee Volunteers. Yes, we are chugging along through this SEC previews. We have now kind of got into the tier
Archer, come
of
here.
teams really we think that could really win the SEC. So, guys, let's dive in to the Tennessee Volunteers.
The Tennessee Volunteers. All right. We are a couple Bama homers, okay?
Yeah.
We did one of our other rivals last week in LSU, and we gave them a little bit of grace, all right? We're higher on LSU than some people, even as Alabama fans. I want all Tennessee fans out there to know, as much as we hate you, we don't think you're going to be that bad this year.
No, looking at the schedule and all that, I mean, it's going to be good. Do you agree with their spot in the preseason top 25 at 15?
You know what? I think that's a good spot because I think with where they ended the season, demolishing Iowa, who made it to the Big Ten championship last season, beat Iowa, I believe, better than Michigan did, who won the national championship. And with what they have returning, I'm all for it. I think that 15 is a good spot. I wouldn't put them any higher.
Yeah, they beat Iowa 35-0.
I know, yeah. And Nico Iamaleava, the quarterback, who we will discuss here shortly, went off that game.
I truly think they would have been better last year, and Tennessee fans will agree. The Joe Milton experience. He will excite you in the first half. And then the second half, what is he doing? Don't forget, he can throw the ball 70 yards.
It almost was.
Is it accurate? Is it accurate?
He had some good moments. I think the Florida game in the swamp, he kind of did. Joe Milton in big situations, like on the road at the swamp, on the road at Alabama, he didn't do great. He had actually in the Alabama game, remember, they were leading, I believe, at halftime. I was at that game, and Alabama had the huge comeback. Tennessee's one of those teams last year where you had a couple moments going your way. You could have had a much better season record-wise if you just had some things go your way, if you would have just finished some games. And, yeah, Joe Milton just he was an all right quarterback, but he was a quarterback that was like the caliber of quarterbacks in the Butch Jones era of Tennessee, right? Josh Heupel, he has a great offense, that spread offense, but it relies heavily on having a great quarterback. And you can say, well, all offenses require a great quarterback, but his especially, I think, is that case. You look at Hendon Hooker and what he did. You look at some of the great offenses that Heupel had at UCF. You need a really good quarterback, and I think they've got it this year in Nico. But let's talk a little bit about Heupel. Entering year 4 at Tennessee, 27-12 record. So that's a little bit of a, first year in 2021, a little bit lackluster, but 2022 was the magical season. Can they get back?
Hendon Hooker beat Bama. You took it down to the, what they take it, was it the river? I don't
down to the river. Took the goalpost to the river.
I mean, you had the magic Cinderella story.
And it all came crashing down in Columbia, South Carolina.
Well, really, it fell in Georgia.
It did, yeah, it did.
Who that coming down the rail?
The track, the meme machine, and red and black. You can only see, well, you can see black, right? You colorblind people can see black.
Go Dogs.
We hate Georgia. They're not a rival of ours, but is Georgia a rival of Tennessee? I don't really think they're rivals. I guess they hate each other either way because they're.
I think they're rivals. They touch. I feel like you're a rival with the state touches.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about some of the coordinators. Joey Halsley is the offensive coordinator year 2 this year. He had the number 37 offense in 2023 in his first year at Tennessee. Previously, though, in 2022, you had the number one offense in the country, Hendon Hooker. How much did that have to do with the previous offensive coordinator, Alex Golesh?
We'll find out this year. I think we'll find out this year with Joe Milton. Joe Milton, he couldn't do. What was Joe Milton at before Tennessee? Was it Virginia Tech?
Virginia or Virginia Tech, one of those two, I think. Could be wrong on that one.
I got to look that up real fast. But Joe Milton couldn't start at the school before Tennessee. He was at Michigan. That's
right. That's right.
He couldn't start at Michigan. He couldn't start at Tennessee. He lost the job to Hendon Hooker. So, I mean, it was his third time. So, I really never understood why people thought, Tennessee's going to do it this year. I was like, I don't know. They didn't match up well. And I told you, and I know you remember this, I used to tell you all the time before the 2022 season, I was like, Tennessee's going to be good. Tennessee is the team I am scared about. And I'm feeling this way again because I think they have a good quarterback. I think it's the quarterback. I don't think it's the coordinator is going to be – he's going to help, but I think it was the quarterback that was that bad last year.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think because, look, Heupel, it's his offense, right? It's his system. You say what you want about Golesh. I think he's a great coach, and I think he's going to put USF I mean, look, they're going to be really good. I mean, I think they could be like a G5 candidate for the playoffs good. Maybe that's too high. I don't know. But I'm high on Alex Golesh. But it's Heupel's offense either way. He's a great offensive mind. And I think when you put Nico Iamaleava, who was the number 2 quarterback recruit in 2023 behind who?
Archie Manning.
The one and only Arch Manning.
In the nation. It was Archie 1 and then Nico 2.
Yeah, some services, like I think On 3 had Nico as 1 and Arch 2, and then maybe 24/7 the other way around. Rivals, who knows? But yeah, Nico he just went off in that bowl game, and I think he has the makings to be maybe the top quarterback in the SEC come like year 2 as a starter. Defensively, you got Tim Banks. Now look, Tim Banks, previous defense coordinator at Penn State, had a couple good years, like number 7 defense in 2017, I think number 8 in 2019. So far, the best season at Tennessee has been that 2022 season. They had the number 22 defense. But that was enough. You know, you don't need a top 10 defense, I think, with the caliber of offense.
Tennessee's best defense is not their offense. Their best defense is Neyland Stadium.
Good point.
That is their best defense. That is one of the toughest places to play, especially in the last 2 seasons, I feel like. I don't know what it is, but since Tennessee's kind of got back to what Tennessee used to be in the 90s and all that, really before Bama became Bama, Tennessee's a hard place to play.
Yeah, it is.
You put them at night, oh, God.
Tennessee is one of those programs where when you get full buy-in from the fans, they're crazy. They're just like LSU. Maybe not quite as intense as LSU fans, but I mean, they're throwing golf balls at Lane Kiffin, throwing mustard on the field. They go crazy at home. You look at what they're doing for baseball right now. Congratulations, Tennessee, on your national championship, Tony Vitello. They go crazy for baseball. They're going crazy for basketball. Tennessee athletics in a whole is doing really, really good right now. And you're right, Neyland Stadium, when they get rocking, especially at night, I mean, when they're good, yeah.
It's a problem.
So, well, let's talk a little bit about some players on the Tennessee team, because the only one we've talked about so far is Nico Iamaleava. You got a few key losses, but you don't lose that many guys. Wide receiver Ramel Keaton, who had like the second most receiving yards on the team, 6 touchdowns. Jalen Wright, who was a productive running back, think like the 5th most productive running back in the SEC, over 1,000 rushing yards. He's gone. You don't lose too much on the defensive side of things. You lose cornerback Kamal Hayden. But then on the offense, you got a lot of guys coming back. Squirrel White, wide receiver. Brew McCoy, who was injured halfway through the season, injured his ankle, and so he was out. He had a huge 22 season. Remember his great game against Alabama?
Oh, yeah.
And 4 senior offensive linemen. I think
that's the making of a good line.
That is huge. when you give a quarterback the quality of Nico Eamoniava, protection, oh my goodness. That I'm telling you, this offense is going to be dangerous.
This reminds me of when Bryce Young first became the quarterback at Alabama. They kind of had the same.
That's not a bad comparison.
You know what I mean?
I didn't even think about that.
Line. We'll just see how they do. Now, you have not mentioned the best player, and he's playing on the opposite side of the field, and he is being held as if not top 5 pick, but the number 1 pick.
Possibly the best player in the country.
And they're saying he might be number 1 in the NFL draft, and that's James Pierce Jr.
Insane defensive lineman. He's kind of been hidden.
Everybody's always talking about Harold Campbell from LSU.
Yes. Or Harold Perkins, yeah. But now Pierce is going to be that guy. He'll be like a Will Anderson style guy, where he's just coming off the edge and just getting guys. James Pierce Jr. is incredible. And he's really the whole defense, essentially. They've got some guys, but top defensive player in the country, I have no doubt. But let's get into the schedule here, John Rivers.
And this schedule is easy, I'm going to be honest.
It is an easy schedule. Look at that right there. And
this is the type of schedule, and mark my words, I wouldn't be shocked if Tennessee goes undefeated. I could easily maybe see that.
I mean, yeah, if they get hot and they find, momentum down the stretch, I can see it. I really do. And look, you look at the 2 losses. It's like, okay, for the quality of team that I think that they're going to have, I think that this is a 2-loss team. No more, no less. I think maybe you could go 9-3, you could go 11-1. I don't think you'll go undefeated, but to your point, who knows? And who knows? Maybe you beat Alabama at home. Maybe you beat Georgia on the road. But maybe you lose to a Florida. Maybe you lose to an Oklahoma. Who knows? I think that this is a 10-2 team, and if I had to pick 2 losses, I'm going with Georgia and Alabama.
I would go with those 2 as my 2 losses, and I'll tell you another loss, maybe because I like the quarterback, and that's the Wolfpack of North Carolina State.
Ooh.
Ask me who the quarterback is for North Carolina State.
Who is the quarterback in North Carolina State?
Reigning conference Sun Belt Player of the Year, or he might have, I don't know if he ever won one, but I feel like he did. Grayson McCullough from Coastal Carolina.
I actually did not know that.
I like him a lot. And ask me where it's played at. It's played at North Carolina State in North Carolina, in Charlotte.
I can see it. It's
a 6:30 game, and it's the Duke Mayo Classic. So it's kind of got a little bit of taste, pizzazz to it. So a
little bit of Appalachian flair. 2 teams.
And maybe another one I can see possibly just because it's at this place. Maybe Oklahoma.
All right. I want to just state this right now. Okay. It's come to my attention that you and I just don't know what the heck we're talking about. No. I mean, we're just casuals. We're so casual that we have our whole podcast. We're casuals. I mean, wait, no. We just tell people what they don't want to hear. That's what it is. So all of you people in the comments can shut up.
I just don't understand why people think Oklahoma's so good. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll admit it when I'm wrong. But like ESPN, they got it to where it's a 59.9% chance that Oklahoma's going to beat Tennessee.
I just think Oklahoma's going to struggle year 1 in the SEC. I think one of those 2 programs is going to struggle, and I think it will be Oklahoma. Now, I think that they could get some big wins.
Yeah, I don't want to stay on Oklahoma too long, but I think everybody rides Brent Venables so hard sometimes just because he was the coach at Clemson. Mind you, we're talking about Clemson, who ain't done shit in the last 3 years, and they're ranked 14th in the nation, I believe.
Understood.
I mean, they ain't done nothing in the last few years, and they are ranked. I want to make sure, 14th. So don't worry, they're going to get blown out by Georgia that first game. But Tennessee, this is the making of a good season.
It's the making. You go with this record right here. You're a playoff team. Team, and I mean, I think right now, I don't think Tennessee is expecting national championship levels right now. I think that they could get there at some point under Heupel, but I don't think that fans are like, oh, we need a national championship, especially after just winning one in baseball. They've gotten their fix. But I mean, to make the playoffs, I think that would be huge.
I feel like
for
that's
Tennessee.
realistic. I don't see. I feel like if you don't make playoffs with a schedule like this, then it might.
I agree.
Putting it out there, maybe Florida, maybe Kentucky, but if you do not make playoffs with this schedule,
here's the thing about Tennessee: they always find a way, and not always, but it seems like over the past 30 years. They cannot, for the life of them, outside of maybe 4 or 5 times within the past 30 years, beat Florida. They cannot beat Florida. Whether it's at home or away, you got to beat this. If you cannot beat this Florida team, who I think would be a little bit better than people expect, but if you cannot beat this Florida team, maybe we're thinking differently at Tennessee.
I'm just telling you, if I can lead Kennesaw State to the playoffs, then they should make the playoffs. Just putting that out there.
I'm just saying, UTEP honestly has the best. UTEP and Kent State have the best chance of beating these guys.
That's Kent State. That's the Racers, baby.
The Golden Flashes.
The Golden Flashes, my bad.
The Murray State is the Racers.
Well, sorry, I'm a Commodores fan. I love my.
When was the last time Vandy beat Tennessee? They beat him a few years ago before Heupel got there, I think, didn't they? Like 2018 or something like that.
They might. I gotta look. Vandy ain't beat a lot of teams. Poor Vandy. Is their football stadium done?
I think they're still working on it right now. Hey Siri, when was the last time Vanderbilt beat Tennessee in football? Well, it's not going to tell me the right thing. I don't know. But guys, I think that does it for this preview of the Heads Up Play podcast. Be sure to follow us on all of our social medias right there, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter /X, whatever you want to call it, and drop a like down below. Leave a comment. What do you think about the Tennessee Volunteers? How do you think they're going to do? And do you know the last time Vandy beat them? Because we don't. So
2018, Vandy beat them.
That's what I thought.
Vandy, damn, they beat Vandy. Vandy beat Tennessee 3 years in a row. Beat them last time they beat them.
I forgot about that.
38-13.
Ooh. So, all right, guys, we are out of here. Hit them with it.
Stay classy.